double gold, four-time IATAN card holder, and EVA 100, Tasha Smutney. She is going to be teaching you guys all about personal storytelling and how to capture that on social media. So I'm going to let you take it away from there, girl.
Hey everyone. So we're actually going to start with what we do to kind of set this up before we get to the personal story. Okay. So we're going to talk about how we position ourselves to actually attract people as opposed to over what we do called pitching the idea. Okay. And essentially, this is going to help you with making things feel less forced. Okay. And less convincing of getting people to be interested. So let's get started. So, first of all, let's talk about what a lot of us always, when we start this, what we're doing that may be mistakes when we start with our posting online and presenting ourselves online. Okay. Most of us are doing this wrong, not because we're trying to do anything wrong, but we just think, okay, this is what is going to attract people. The join my team, make money from home, DM me for info. And then we're wondering why nobody responds. They don't respond because they feel like they're being pitched a sale. And people don't connect with that. People connect with people. They look to find in us themselves. And hey, if it can work for her, then it can work for me. That's what they're looking for. Okay. Part of what you have to understand is when we're presenting ourselves online, it may feel slower than what you want it to when you get results because people want to connect with you, and that means they need time to get to know who you are. Okay. So please understand that and do not get frustrated. It is not you at all. But it does. I'm going to turn up. My microphone was super quiet. I'm sorry, guys. Um, it does make that difference. Okay. So here's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on how to share your story without selling, how to explain what you do simply. We don't want to overcomplicate anything. What makes your journey relatable to others? How to spark curiosity instead of resistance. Remember that a lot of people see these things out there, and if it comes across as spammy or like a bot or something, that could appear a scam with what we're doing, they're immediately putting a guard up. Okay. We want them curious, not immediately shutting down what we're talking about. And then we're going to talk about the action steps that you can take starting today to change what you're doing and to start attracting people. We want simple yet powerful that people can connect and relate to. Okay. So let's really get into a little bit why that pitching doesn't work. It's the hard truth. Most people are repelling. Now, when I talk about this, when we post things in our stories, there's always an element of the things we're doing are to attract not only prospects, because we have to be experts in travel to prove that we're legit, right? That we're booking travel. So it could also be for clients. So we're accidentally repelling ideal clients or prospects without even realizing it. It can feel pushy. Automatically, people take a step back. There's a built-in resistance to pushiness. It focuses on you and not them. They want it to be, oh, this could be about me. It happens in the wrong places. Cold DMs to people, broad posts, they miss the mark and they're not attracting people. People can't connect with it. Oftentimes, when you're pitching, it attracts the wrong people, people that aren't actually seriously going to consider this. low quality leads. That's just going to create frustration and drain you. You're going to feel like you're hitting a wall over and over and over again. People are reaching out, but then they either ghost me, they don't go to a meeting, they go to a meeting and they don't convert to somebody who actually joins. It's because the wrong people are getting drawn in, which leads to burnout. You're working harder for no results. When we stop pitching, we start attracting. That's when everything changes. I don't chase anybody. Don't chase anyone. You know what chases people? Bears. Don't be a bear chasing people, right? No one likes to feel pressured into doing something. They want it to feel like their idea. Okay? So here's what changes when we start attracting over chasing. First of all, attraction is energy efficient, mental energy. It feels better, it works better, it lasts longer. All right? Attraction's going to lead to better conversations. Now, this is why I say this is not a fast process. People want to develop a relationship with you before they necessarily jump on in. Okay? People lean in because they're curious, not because they feel obligated or pressured to talk to you. This is going to cause you to attract the right people, people who are already aligned with what you're offering. That's higher quality leads to more conversion or sales if they're clients. Technically, we are selling something. We're selling a membership. We never say that, but if you think about it, it's still what we're doing. That becomes easier. Closing people who've gone to a meeting becomes easier when you've attracted the right people that are already going to want to do this. It gives you more time and freedom because now you're not chasing people for a response or explaining your value. You're letting them see the value and make the decision if it's right for them. More impact because you're actually helping people who are ready for this type of opportunity, right? We're leading with value. This is why we tell you, don't answer questions before a meeting. Let the presenters who have a lot of experience answering the hard questions, explaining things that you might not even fully understand, but you think you do. We can show the value in those presentations before anything that is going to make people immediately be like, nope, not doing it. If you immediately tell someone, yeah, there's an $89 fee, I'm not coming. I'm done with you. But if we lead with the value, the right people are always going to find you. And part of that value is going to be who we are and what this business does for us when we talk about that personal story. So there is a shift in your mindset, right? We're going from convincing to connecting. Now, does that mean I don't talk to prospects about answering their concerns and questions? No. But there's a difference between there's no way this person's ever going to change their mind and this person has legitimate questions because they were confused about something, but they're interested. You don't need better pitches. You need a better presence of who you are and what you represent online. Because attraction pulls people in, whereas the pressure pushes them away. People choose who they feel connected to, not who they feel forced by. When someone's aligned with you, they're more likely to buy in. Right? Your personal energy sets the standard. You have to have confidence. Whether you actually have confidence or not, you have to communicate confidence and show that. Because when you shift this mindset, your energy is going to change and you can be more grounded. And that energy attracts confident, ready to join prospects or ready to book clients. When they connect, it's easier to convert. Convert them from a prospect to an agent. Connection is first. Deciding to join us becomes more natural when they already feel connected. I already feel like this person can help me, right? So we're not chasing. We're becoming magnets that people want to be a part of. We want to create an aligned prospect. And my aligned prospect is not necessarily the same as any of yours. And I'm going to show you after how I've trained my chat GPT, because it's my bestie, gonna be honest. We can train our AIs. I'm using a few others that I'm experimenting with, but I've already trained my chat GPT. I'm gonna show you the prompt, and it has told me, I've already got it pulled up for after. Tell me what you know about my aligned prospective agents. Because it helps me create everything I create with that in mind. Okay? But it's different for me than for you. Right? This is a new approach for most of us. Attract the right people to come to you. Become a magnet. You have clarity, confidence, create curiosity. So the right people are drawn to you. What this is also going to do when you become a mentor and have these people, they're going to be people who can connect with you when they have issues with their business or concerns or fitting it into their lifestyle. You know why? Because they have the same lifestyle as you. You've already dealt with it. You know how to work through it as an agent. We're aligning. Let them know your strengths. Let them know why this works around your life. Who are you going to be able to best help and serve? Then we have an impact. This makes it feel easy. We have conversations with these people that convert them without pushing, proving, or performing. Listen, we're not getting up there and changing who we are. You're coming as your authentic self and why this business is right for you. It is about showing up differently. And for some of you, I'm sure you haven't let who you truly are show in things that you post online. Why not? That's who people are going to be attracted to. The people that you'll be able to help the most are going to be attracted to who you are. Right? We can attract success to us. And that's how freedom is built with your business. So think about that. We've got new energy, new results. When the results are coming, you're not going to have to pretend to be confident anymore. You actually will be. And you'll feel a new, I don't want to say a new you because you're still going to be you. But if I were to say, oh, I'm the same person I was almost 4 years ago when I joined this, that would be a bold-faced lie. Because doing this changes you as a leader, as a person for the best. Everything by the best, right? Once you're attracting people, you're building more momentum. Okay? All right. So there's a question. Someone said, how do you show who you are when you're a very private person and it's scary? Like showing your face on camera. You have to get over it and get uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable, being comfortable being uncomfortable is very important. I know some of you know me, some of you don't know me. I come across very, very confident. I look like I love being on camera. I hate it. I hate it. Now I'm a teacher and I'm like, oh, kids are more forgiving than grown-ups, right? Because they are. They also can be blatantly honest with you without even meaning to hurt your feelings. I'd still rather talk to kids than adults any day. And I'm also, those who don't know, I'm a music teacher. When I put on performances, I give the kids the scripts to talk to the audience because I don't want to. And that might surprise some of you who've seen me do content. I don't like it at all. I hate it. But I know it's important. And I know that at the very minimum, I started with just my voice as a voiceover so people heard the real person. And it was important to get my face out there. People connect with real people. Okay. Once you start attracting people, the right people, everything becomes easier. Stop chasing, start attracting. That's where freedom, fulfillment, and results live. When you attract the right people, they refer and recommend and bring others like them. So people who come in because they're attracted to what you are, they have others like them that could benefit from this opportunity. That's going to help you with higher levels of leadership because they're going to want to grow a team as well. Trust is built faster when you have alignment. You're not constantly overcoming objections or convincing people. Aligned conversations, it's naturally leading to aligned decisions. They join you. You reclaim your time and your energy when you work with people who value you and what you do. And you create a bigger, better impact because there's already a fit and you can focus on the results for people and help your business and them transform. It just helps everything flow better. Okay? So this is a new advantage. Alignment is an advantage because that creates a magnet. When you're aligned, you're magnetic. People feel it and the opportunities all flow. When you have clarity, it improves your confidence. You have to be clear on who you are, what you stand for, so that you can attract with ease. Yes, believing in the product does help. Alignment builds trust. When people trust your energy before they trust the offer, they might not be convinced yet, but they're going, oh, this girl, Tasha, I can trust her. I'm more willing to listen about what this is, even though I'm not really sure. When you attract and magnet people, that's creating more momentum because you're attracting the right people for the opportunity and you're getting results. And therefore your impact becomes inevitable because you become a leader in your space without forcing it or chasing people. The more people that you start helping, the more you develop your leadership. But you can't get those people if you're just attracting the wrong people that are always going to say no. And when you're showing things and connecting with aligned people online, you become unforgettable. Not because you're the loudest, but because you're the realest. People can see through fakeness. So when you try to be something you're not, they're going to see that. Alignment changes everything. So before you can think about what your story is, you have to think about what parts of your story are going to draw people in. So we're about to transition to that part, but think about it. Your 5 action steps. Feel free to screenshot this page. This is what's going to help you attract people because small aligned actions create massive results over time. Okay? Just like anything else in this business, you have to be consistent. You have to prove to people you're going to show up, right? They can't see you one day and not see you for 3 weeks. Get clear on who you serve. This is where we're going to talk about figuring out your avatar, your aligned client, your aligned prospect. Clarity attracts, define that ideal prospective agent and transform what you create for them. When I first started building, I was like, I don't care who joins and I'm being honest, I honestly think the majority of walks of life could benefit from this opportunity. But could every single walk of life find connection with me as their mentor or their team leader? No. And if you throw too big of a net, the little fishies swim through the holes. We got to focus in. Align your message and your energy. Make sure your message, your offers, your energy, it matches the person you want to attract. You can't just say, you'll have more time in your life and you'll make more money. Okay. Who did that attract? Not a specific person or a specific type of person. Show up consistently. You have to be invisible in a way that feels good and builds trust over time. The content you put out there, they have to know I can depend on this person. They always post. They always have good, valuable information. If I join them, I know they'll help me. The consistency in what you put out there, not only does it help social media algorithms, it shows people they can trust you. You have to reply to people when they message you or comment, because that shows you're going to pay attention to them. Focus on connection, not conversion. We're going to lead with value. People message you, start conversations. They may not be ready for a meeting yet. On social media, especially. When somebody comments a keyword to something I post, I always comment first. Let me rephrase. I always check first if I can message them, because if their profile is private, I can't. If I can, I heart it. I say, thank you so much for commenting. I've sent you a message. Or, thank you so much for commenting. Please send me a message. I can't message you. That message isn't, let's get you into a meeting. That message is something related to the content, asking them, I've done some things about how to choose the correct host agency, what things to think about. Never specifically like putting down a different one or talking about ours in real specific. Hey, have you already started looking at options? A lot of times I'll ask a question that encourages the conversation back and forth, right? But that's starting a relationship. I actually care about why you related to whatever I posted enough to respond. Not just, thanks for responding. Hey, why don't you get in a meeting? Here's my Calendly link. That's pushy. Sometimes we have to take a step back and not feel over eager to the person. Trust the process and stay aligned, because attraction takes time. You have to stay patient, stay aligned, watch that momentum build. Take action, stay aligned, attract to your next level. You do have this. An example, I had somebody reply to something I posted. They replied today, something I posted this week about joining. I've been doing a good amount mixed in there of, if you've been watching and you keep coming back to this, there's a reason. Listen to your thoughts type posts. Now, this is someone I personally have known for, oh gosh, I mean, she was a parent at my school. Her youngest is finishing grad school right now, and I had him in kindergarten. I've known her that long. She's expressed a lot of interest in this, but has never pulled the trigger. She went to a meeting last year. Last summer, she went to a meeting. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. She never did it yet. She likes the things I posted. She put a message today. She also has become a teacher. As soon as school's out for the summer, I'm signing up. Some people take time and you have to trust the process. Some people immediately connect. Okay. So when we talk about everything leading up to creating our story, here are key takeaways. Again, if you want to take a screenshot, please do. Remember, attraction isn't luck. It's alignment. Alignment with the right people to join you specifically and our opportunity. When you lead with energy, everything changes. When you lead with that energy, you don't have to do huge things, but there's small little shifts that happen. Mindset shifts everything. When you stop chasing, you know what else chasing looks like? It looks like you're desperate. And why? Why is that person so desperate for me to join them? No, I do lots of soft calls to action like, hey, if you're interested, leave a comment. Hey, if you connect with this, put this word. If you've been watching for a while and you want to message me, feel free and we can start talking. Low pressure. I'm not chasing anyone. I'm inviting them. By all means, I'm inviting them to connect with me. They choose if they want to or not. I don't randomly message people, none of it. Alignment creates that momentum because you're aligned with the right people who are ready to listen and change their mind about a different type of work. It's about our energy. Attraction is energy. Your energy speaks before you do. So protect your energy. Raise your energy. Lead with it. Don't do things that are going to drain your energy because you're attracting the wrong people and you feel like you're spinning your wheels. Your impact follows that attraction. When you attract the right people, you're impacting more. That impact is bigger. It grows. And naturally, your income does because your team has grown. You know, you grow into leadership in our organization because now you can influence others and do trainings. Consistency is key. Small aligned actions done consistently create massive results over time. Remember, you're creating the life and the business you deserve. You don't have to chase it. You get to attract the ones and the life you aligned your energy for. So now we're going to talk about what we think when we talk about our story. Your story is your superpower. It's a superpower. I love this over here. Your story can be the reason someone else starts over and changes their life. I say it all the time. I am forever grateful that I saw the post in a Facebook group from my mentor. And you want to know where I saw it? In a group for teaching English online, because we both were doing that. We're both teachers. Connection right there. I'm forever grateful that I found this and chose to take advantage of this, because if I had no idea that this would be what it is now. It has changed my life and is continuing to change my life. So own your story. Share your story. It can change lives. That's why I love evolution so much. And when you truly understand the family that is evolution, you know it's about so much more than you, especially when you're a mentor. And it's about so much more than lineages and upline and downline. I don't care who in this company asks me a question, I'm going to help them. Because that's what this is about. Knowing how it's helped me and letting it help as many people as possible. Only you can tell your story. And every single person has a different one. Your experiences, your lessons, your perspective, it's unlike anyone else's. It creates connection. Your story helps others feel seen, understood, and less alone. Somebody else is going to have something in your story that resonates with them or that is happening to them. It builds trust. Stories humanize your message. They need to see you as a real person, and it makes your expertise relatable. It also leaves a lasting impact. Facts inform people, but your story inspires action, and that sticks. Your story has power, even if you don't feel like it does. And anyone who's, going to convention for the first time or has ever been to a convention, when you see the people get up on stage for their gold or platinum and multiple levels of platinum on stage and they give their speech, there's very rarely dry eyes in that room. Even if you don't think your story is powerful, it really is. Here's what it looks like. This is my story. Real, simple, from my heart. We want to think about these steps, though, when you make your story. Before you found this, number one, I would write these down because this is going to be part of your homework, making your story. Before, what was your life like? What made you look for an opportunity or at this opportunity? What made you look? Why you said yes? What your life is looking like, at least now. Mine includes a looking ahead. Yours doesn't have to necessarily include a looking ahead, but how has this impacted your life now? It can include the looking ahead, or you think it's going to in the future, right? So here I am. I was a full-time music teacher. I truly loved what I did, but I knew I needed something more. I wanted something fun, flexible, fulfilling outside of the classroom, right? I was looking because I always loved to travel. I had been looking for something to earn extra income. And I started realizing there had to be a way to make more out of my travel than just something I spent money on. And I needed a way to pay for all the travel I was doing, which, by the way, was way less than I'm currently doing. I wasn't looking for a business when I started this. I was looking for something additional income to supplement my teaching salary. And this felt exciting and different. And me, I honestly was drawn to the perks and the discounts at first. But as I continued, I knew this was something that was mine. A business I owned. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd be a business owner. And this was going to be something little extra income. I fell in love with the industry. And I fell in love with helping people in the industry. I have not left public school teaching. I'm still doing that. And as I said, this became way more than I expected. It's given me flexibility, extra income, a way to help others. I've been a helper since I was a small child. My mom likes to remind me that my kindergarten report card said I was a mother hen because I was telling everybody what to do. Now, my telling everybody what to do, as a child, it came across that way, but it was me just trying to help them do things, right? And long term, this is my early retirement plan from public school teaching. I will be walking out of that classroom 4 years from June. For good. At least 8 years earlier than full retirement would be. I didn't pitch anything. I shared my story, what my life was like before, struggling to pay for all the travel I wanted to do, what's happening now. Now, I probably would expand on this if I weren't trying to get it all on one slide, right? Because there's a bit more in there that I expanded as I talked. But my story's not special. There's nothing special about my story, but that's the point. I'm just a regular person who works in public education who needed something else. I would say 80 to 90% of public school teachers are the exact same. But if I can do this, so can you. That's my story. And people connect with it. My story, and when I talk about this, allows for curiosity-based messaging. Curiosity creates a pause. A pause creates an opportunity. Things that spark interest. Open with a question, a surprising statistic, or an unexpected statement when you're creating content, or when you're messaging someone that has already responded to something. Create intrigue. Leave just enough unsaid to make them want more. That goes along with not answering those questions. Lead to connection. Curiosity draws people in. The value keeps them there. Don't give it all away. Make them want more. Something exciting is coming. Right? Here's what we want to avoid. Do not do these things when you're posting online or talking to prospects. Over-explain. Please don't sound scripted, even if you've asked AI to create scripts for you. Don't just list all the features of what we offer. Let the meeting do that. And don't be salesy. If it sounds like an ad, it's not going to work because people see through it and they don't trust it. There's too many scams out there. You'll get lost in all of them and look like just another one. Authenticity always outperforms perfection. Always. So here's what that can look like in content. My story isn't necessarily told in all at once. People get snippets of why this works for me, what this is for me. My post should feel like a conversation with my viewers. My post should feel like a story, or that they're getting a glimpse into a moment. We're sharing real life because that builds real connections. It's not a pitch. I'm not posting flyers. And it's not a sales post. That's on both sides of the business. Very rarely do I post anything that's like an ad, a travel ad, a team building ad. I'm posting content that people connect with so that they'll convert. Now, some big promotion, big things come out. I still don't post it as an ad, but I let my viewers know about it based on my things that I book. Because as a person wanting to attract others to become agents too, it shows that whatever I'm connected with is up on the trends. I'm well informed when it comes to either side of this business, right? So here's our action items. Real connections start with that curiosity. Remember that. Small shifts, big impact. Lead with curiosity. Ask questions that invite others in. Questions they can answer in your comments. Questions that when they message you, or do a keyword. Ask a question about what drew them to that. Right? What are you most interested in about joining the travel industry? Now we know, oh, they're drawn to the perks. Oh, they want to build a business. Oh, they've been thinking about this for a while. They're just looking for the right way to do it. You can get a lot of information from asking people to answer questions. Add unexpected value. Things people don't expect. Share surprising statistics, insights, or perspectives. Hey, I wish I had known this before. This really surprised me. Things like that. Make it about them. Focus on your audience's world, their concerns, problems that we solve for them, not yours. Why can this help that type of person that you're trying to attract? Invite connections. Remember, we have an end with a question. We should still always have some kind of calls to action. They could be at the beginning, they could be spread throughout, they could be at the end, they could be all three. Asking people to save things, asking people to share with someone else who might like it, asking them to message you, asking them to do a keyword, right? Curiosity starts it. Connection keeps it going. Okay. So after the final message, I'm going to show you some things. Okay. And then the last page is going to talk about what's on that homework. You have a story that is worth sharing. Some of you don't believe that statement. Everyone's story is worth sharing. Not because it's perfect, but because it's real. And you know what? We care about people here and who they are. And this is a safe place for people to be who they are. And when you can show online in your content, I'm okay sharing who I am, whether you like it or not, because it's going to attract the right people. It shows that the environment you're creating also fosters that. Your story matters because it has the power to encourage others, inspire, and create change for other people. Your voice matters. The world needs to hear your perspective, your wisdom, your truth. Your actions matter. Sharing your story is one of the most impactful things that you can do. You know how many people out there think, hey, nobody's like me. Oh, I see people doing that, but I could never do it. And then they see somebody like themselves or someone who they see part of themselves in doing the exact thing they thought they never could do. That's why you're enough. And you need the courage to begin. Do it when it's hard. Do it when it's scary. Do it when you think what you're putting out there is not any good. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to start. You keep sharing, the connections will come, and you'll start making that impact. Okay? So when we talk about what parts of my story I share, we have to talk about who I'm trying to attract. There's other parts of my stories that I didn't necessarily include in that part, but sometimes I do talk about those as well. I'm a caregiver for my elderly parents while I work full time as a teacher and I run a business. That also connects with other people, right? So I asked chat, I said, please tell me what you know about my avatar for prospective agents. Okay. My ideal prospective agent avatar is actually very clear and pretty specific. I've trained my AI. Now I'm working on other AIs that I may transfer to, but they know it already. So why am I going to move from chat right now? My core avatar, the overworked, underpaid professional seeking flexibility. Full-time workers, often teachers, especially public school. Feel financially capped, but not lacking work ethic. People who are willing to put work in. You got to work to do this. They crave flexibility, autonomy, and a supplemental income. They want something that fits around their life, not replaces it. Okay. Now, this is very detailed because I use chat all the time. When you make an avatar as part of your homework, you do not need to go this detailed, but you can ask and say, hey, this is who I am. Who would be my ideal prospect or avatar for a 1099 independent contractor travel advisor. Okay. Here's my sweet spot, my most aligned subset of people. Messaging hits the hardest to public school teachers, school staff, and paraprofessionals. Those are like the assistants in classrooms, very underpaid for what they do, often working with special education populations and some of the hardest jobs in the schools, right? They're getting hit, they're changing diapers, they're doing bit, all kinds of stuff, right? And very like, I'm going to tell you, the paraprofessionals at my school barely take home a check if they're getting school insurance. That's how low they're paid. Women, 25 to 55 is my sweet spot, often balancing multiple responsibilities. People who love to travel but don't see it as a career path yet. They relate because I am them. Still teaching full time. I've proven it's doable. It's not theoretical. I'm doing it. They speak my language, school schedule, burnout, limited income growth. Okay. Their current situation. I need more income, but I can't take another rigid job. I want something flexible I can build over time. They already have an income, so they're not desperate to make money right this second. Because when you're working part-time, that's not always realistic. If you're working your business part-time while working full-time. I love travel, but I don't know how to turn that into anything. Or I love travel, but I can't afford to. Curious, but skeptical. And it gives me all of these things. It's important to know pain points when we're making content for our perfect prospect, right? They have an income plateau. There's time constraints. They can't work a traditional second job, easy. They're burnt out or they feel lack of control over their schedule. They feel like they're missing out on more. Tells me what they actually want. I didn't ask any of these questions, but they know my avatar, right? What their objections are. So what am I going to make content about and explain? Because it's who I am. This is why it converts. I'm a full-time teacher, still doing it. I show real bookings and team results. I show proof of what is happening on my team and myself. I educate instead of hype. I balance relatability and authority. And I don't oversell. But if I don't create my story, none of that matters. If I don't share my story, it doesn't matter that those are the people I want to attract because they don't know why they connect with me. Okay? Now, one thing on there is going to tell you to post some kind of personal story. I actually made one today. Why I became a travel advisor. Let me pause because I don't think the sound is on. If for some reason you can't hear the sound,
That's what you think.
read the captions.
Started this, it wasn't because I was trying to build a big business. It was because I wanted to make travel more affordable for myself. The perks, the discounts, the commission on my own travel. That's what mattered to me most when I first decided to become a travel advisor. And that's what really caught my attention. What I didn't expect is how much I would actually enjoy helping others book their travel and become advisors themselves. Also, how much I would truly love being a business owner. I also didn't expect how this could grow into something much bigger than I ever imagined and how it would truly change my life. Comments start, it depends how you'd like to begin. It wasn't what you think. When I first
And that's honestly a more direct call to action than a lot of my things. But I gave a glimpse of my story in that, right? I don't give the full story because if I gave the full story, it'd be way too long, right? But, and if you haven't done it, and I don't know if you guys have done any social media stuff yet, but if you're posting, regardless of how many times you're posting a day, we want to stick to a rotation. It should not all be about the opportunity. It should be a rotation of every third post should be about the opportunity. Everything else should be presenting yourself as a travel expert in the travel industry. Because otherwise, people aren't going to believe you're actually working in travel. Right? You have to show that you're doing things for clients. Now, some of that could be, you know, social proofing and those types of things as well. All right. So there are more than 3 things on that Google form, but these are the general idea of what's going to be on there. These are the things you're going to do for action. You're going to write your why I joined, your personal story, the before, what made you look into it, why you said yes, what it's doing for you. Those 4 steps that were on this slide. Before, what made you look, why I said yes, and what it looks like for you now. What has it done in your life? Or what will it be doing in your life? All right? Define that person. Who is your ideal prospective prospects? It might be one group, it might be a small subset of groups. Get clear on who you want to help and the impact you want to make. Now, there's also going to be something on there that asks you to record yourself saying your story out loud. You have to get used to it. Say it with confidence, like you're talking to a friend over coffee. Because you want to be able, when you meet people in person, someone goes, what made you do that? And what's it look like? And you don't want to stumble over your words, right? Record yourself saying it so that it feels natural, not like you're reading the script. So it feels natural. All right. And you don't need to figure out this alone. We're all building this company together. We're all here to help you. Okay. So, questions, concerns. I know Halia has the actual document. But let me stop sharing.